Hey guys, how's everything? Good. All right, let's do this. Giving you guys a third option for the Super Bowl halftime show, since it's good to live in a country where you can have more than two choices. Um, I don't know why we always get kind of set in the mindset of it's either only heads or tails. So, yeah, let's check in with the president. I wanted to play this because made me laugh.
Social media a hell of a lot better than you do.
Technical difficulties already. Um, so we're gonna go through some ideas. Let's see here. So I started thinking about what to do after football is over for the year. You know, it's halftime. Uh, Number one, read a freaking book. Uh, any book, doesn't matter which one. Uh, I keep hearing about how popular the Bible has been this year. So we'll get into that later as well. We'll talk about the president at the prayer breakfast. Um, but looking into this now, the second thing, uh, just get outside. You know, it's been a long December. So the main thing though is getting ready for the World Baseball Classic. So I wanted to bring this up because me and Jerry Lopez are going to be doing a podcast about the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, 1 second. Here we go. So, if you're unfamiliar, World Baseball Classic happens like every 3 years. It's a tournament format, basically like the World Cup. There's four pools. It takes place in Japan, Puerto Rico, Houston, and Miami. And United States, they're in the, let's see, it says Pool B with Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil. It's only a few weeks long, so it even says March 6th through 11th are like the opening rounds, and then the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the championship all take place by March 17th. So it's 11 days long. It has Major League Baseball players playing for their home countries. So very much like the World Cup and everything like that. Uh, I'm just ready for baseball season. I'm ready for the snow to go away and uh, to check this out. I am kind of interested too. Puerto Rico, um, Japan, Florida, and Texas. Uh, there are going to be people coming in from other countries. So if that is happening, hang on. Okay. Um, if anything is happening with ice, we'll have to kind of see how that all goes and whether or not it'll actually, you know, anybody will get arrested. Hopefully not. Hopefully this is just a good dry run for like the World Cup, for the Olympics. Uh, let's see here. Oh yeah, comments. Hey, wow, you guys actually chose this over the Bad Bunny show. So thank you, Tyler and John. All right. Um, let me see. All right. So the next thing is uh, it's going to kind of slide into the prayer breakfast and kind of what I wanted to focus on with Indiana. Um, the number four thing to do after football, and you have a Sunday open, is to just get involved um, in the community, speak up. Uh, you don't have to be loud either. Um, you don't have to say the same things the same way as anybody else, but the amount of voices I feel like outweigh the volume of those who are trying to like control or command or dictate, how we live, how um, you know uh, how people practice their faith, how they decide what is right for themselves. uh, I always look back to the Door song 5 to 1. We have the numbers. We have the numbers to come together and agree on things, but we just keep getting divided over and over again, um, because of Sleepy Joe and woke and transfer everybody and girls and men's restrooms. I'm just messing with you guys. Uh, those are all just smoke screens, obviously. Um, we are going to get into some Lion King trivia in a little bit too. I don't want to, frighten people away on that. So if you are able to guess the answers, feel free to write them in the comments, and we'll see how everybody goes. Ooh, the Bad Bunny halftime performance is not started yet. The Super Bowl halftimes always last for freaking ever too. Well, okay. So the last thing is to, when you do get involved, it doesn't matter really kind of what side you're on. Um, I do think that people in Indiana that are focused on Indiana want Indiana to do well. So those people are across the political aisles as well. And I think we need to get back to figuring out ways to have conversations with each other, how not to bite everyone's heads off when there isn't a disagreement, but just realize that one conversation can lead to another and lead to another. And it doesn't have to exclude anybody. I do know that everything should be based on merit now. I don't want to say, inclusion is important, but it is. Again, we'll play some clips from the president later. Part of the reason that I wanted to do this too with the prayer breakfast is that I've talked to a lot of people about how I absorb the president's words. I don't watch CNN or MSNBC or really anything like exclusively. Like, I watch C-SPAN because there's no medium, there's no filter in between what he is saying and how I'm listening to it. But what I found out is that a lot of people aren't actually listening to him when he speaks. And so we're going to go through that and kind of go over some of his themes that he brought to the 74th National Prayer Breakfast, an event that should be focused on prayer and, spirituality, things like that. It was very interesting to see how off the rails he went. All right, so, but back to Indiana. I did want to bring up the. Okay, so our congressional race. This next couple months, up until May 5th in the primary, we're going to have some outside influencers coming in here to try and replace Republican state senators who wanted to vote against redistricting. Redistricting, just for you guys who are unfamiliar, maybe, the U.S. House of Representatives has 435 open seats. They're divided amongst the states by population. Most states get their population from the United States Census, which takes place every 10 years. The last one that we had was in 2020. It was done during a pandemic, but it was also done under total control of the House and Senate of by the Republicans. So they're the ones who wrote the map. They're the ones who approved it. And so if you look, Indiana has 9 seats. Now, is Indiana all the same? Are we barn red? I think that whole concept of being barn red is bullshit for Indiana, especially if you've lived in this state your whole life. I don't know how you think that Indianapolis is barn red, or that Lake County is barn red, or any college town, Fort Wayne even. I mean, there are some areas that, as the districts are drawn, if that population votes to be Democrat, then that should be how it is. And so we'll post right here, if you guys can look on here. We have 9 districts. Again, the talking points from the GOP state officials have been, oh, well, we're barn red, and it should be 9-0. Well, what ended up happening in December, constituents did not agree with that. A lot of constituents started calling their state senators, regardless of party, and demanding that we didn't want to do this. We didn't want to do a mid-decade redistricting. Because if you look, it's 2026. We're not due for a new map for 4 more years. And the usual way of following that is following the census and, going down that path. However, everything kind of got tossed up here because of some states wanting to redraw their maps to favor a certain party. And this whole idea, unless somebody can prove otherwise, was begun by President Trump asking Texas to redraw their maps. And in response, California redrew their maps to counter how many votes Texas was going to alter. And then a lot of states started getting involved in trying to change their maps before the 2026 midterm elections. And again, this is all just ways of making the votes turn out how you want. Doesn't seem American. It doesn't seem like the people of Indiana wanted a part of it. And so I'm very happy we voted it down. The state Senate did. And so these are going to be our congressional districts still. So that's fine. However, everyone is now facing retribution by President Trump and some other people. Let's see here. That beautiful man there in the background with the long flowy hair is Scott Presler. He is a Twitter conservative influencer who tries to get people to sign up to vote. Here he is holding up volume 1 or phase 1 of the Epstein files with let's see, DC Dranos there, and I think one of those ladies is like the libs of TikTok. I don't know, but they got phase 1, so that is who is going to be kind of coming into Indiana and trying to run, kind of help the candidates that are running in opposition of the incumbents. Okay, even though they're Republicans are eating themselves now because it's not enough. We need more seats, apparently, or they need more seats. But again, it's all to help Indiana, I think. So, okay. All right, let's get into Trump at the prayer breakfast. Let's bring in the first video.
From Georgia, they say, why is she doing it? Right, Pam? Why is she doing it? Because Pam wanted her to do it. And you know why? Because she's smart. And they said, well, this has to do, her position has to do, it's really not so, but her position has to do with international. I say, well, the same people that said that, they've been saying Russia, Russia, Russia has been screwing our elections, okay? So let's assume Russia had something to do with it. They say, no, no, Russia didn't have. So now they're saying Russia had nothing to do with it. Because if I say Russia, that it's perfectly fine. But you could add China and about 5 other countries to it. But she's done a great job, and Pam has done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it both. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. And I have one of the greatest negotiators.
So there he was talking about Pam Bondi, who apparently told Tulsi Gabbard to go ahead and investigate the Fulton County, Georgia election centers. And again, there's some discrepancies about even why this is happening. It's him going over the 2020 elections still, and again, makes no sense. But again, he did bring up the fact that Pam Bondi was involved, Tulsi Gabbard was involved, in the miscommunication of, who told Tulsi Gabbard to be there. It's just a compilation of what comes out as lies about the dumbest shit said by this administration. Again, this is at the 74th National Prayer Breakfast. Let's focus on what the president tried to bring to the stage here.
But the bottom line, I called him, I said, so you think you can do it, General? Yes, sir, I can do it. And it was over in 3 weeks. It was incredible. And I mean over. And then the election's rigged, and I wasn't there. And for 4 years, ISIS rebuilt. And they have a little bit of ISIS now again. And we knocked the hell out of them the other day in Nigeria because they were killing Christians. You know about that. They were killing Christians. So you can't do that. When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by President Trump. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is. So we're also delighted to welcome.
The purpose of the National Prayer Breakfast is to facilitate and execute the National Prayer Breakfast under the leadership of the U.S. Congressional Co-Chairs. Founded in 1953, when President Eisenhower accepted the invitation to join members of Congress to break bread together, the annual breakfast is an opportunity for members of Congress to pray collectively for our nation, the President of the United States, and other national and international leaders in the spirit of love and reconciliation as Jesus of Nazareth taught 2,000 years ago. So, again, Trump is just right in line with the themes of community and brotherhood and breaking bread with people that are different. It is fantastic. Let's see another one. Again, these are just kind of clips from his entire speech. So let's get here. This is actually him talking about some current events, the Olympics coming up, the World Cup, and just basically other things that he wants to have credit for. So
I was the one that got the Olympics, and I was the one that got, and I was. And we're also very shortly going to have the Olympics and the World Cup. And, you know, I got them. I was the one that got the Olympics, and I was the one that got, and I was so upset because I got them. I tried to move them up, but I couldn't. And my first term, I was getting them, and Barack Hussein Obama would refuse to call the Olympics because, in all fairness, they took advantage of him. Remember, he went there. He flew all the way to whatever country, some beautiful country.
Solid
Europe.
story.
And he made his presentation, and he ended up coming in last. And that shouldn't happen to a president. You know, if you're a president, you have to get a wink. I'll go there, but are you going to give us the Olympics? Otherwise, I'm not going there. I don't want to. So he sat there, made a very nice presentation. He came in last, came in fourth place. So he hated those people. He won't say that, I don't think, but I'll say it for him. And so he refused to be involved with the Olympics. I got a call from Democrats. The Democrat mayor of Los Angeles called me. So we have a problem. We have a president that refuses to call the Olympic Committee. And I just won the presidency. I was president-elect. And so I wasn't even in office. Then I called this gentleman from, I think, Denmark. Can you believe? They own a large piece of ice that we're negotiating for. Extremely, it's the biggest piece of ice in the world. The world's largest piece of ice. They'll never run out of water. But I called the president.
So he's still going after Greenland, by the way. Again,
the head of the Olympic Committee, very nice guy. And I couldn't get him off the phone. He was starving for love because nobody called him. They just wanted to know from the president, does the United States want the Olympics? They didn't want to choose the United States and then, have somebody say, like, we don't care. I said,
as a president does.
We're going to get it, blah, blah, blah. And I spoke to him, I spoke to other people, and I got it. I called up the Democrat from Los Angeles. Happened to be the mayor of Los Angeles. He was devastated. He couldn't get all they wanted to do is have an acknowledgement from the head of the country. Wouldn't do it. But I did it. We got the Olympics. And we got the World Cup. But then I don't know if Johnny's here from the World Cup, but that guy's great.
Johnny World Cup.
But I got them both. And I was really upset because I got them. And then I said, think of it, I won't be president because they're in the following term. Because, when you get the Olympics, usually it's 10 years in advance.
Which in every religion, the reason to do something nice and to do the right thing is always so that you can actually benefit from it, or that you can somehow bask in the brilliance of your own decisions.
I said, so I did all that good work. It wasn't that easy. I got it. Then I got the World Cup.
Yes, the TDS, Tommy, is
another year and a half. A year right after the 250. I didn't get 250. I tried to claim it a couple of times.
By the way, okay, he tried to claim 250. So is he saying that, it's his, like, to his credit, is why we're at 250? Again, these are things that I did not think about under, Biden. Like, I don't know if everyone who does think about Biden, or blame him for whatever, do they have Biden derangement syndrome, or is that just like that doesn't exist outside of if you're thinking about President Trump? I get lost sometimes thinking, or at least realizing what kind of labels that I've been given. Yeah, Drew. All right, Drew in the chat. But yeah, again, wants the credit for the 250. Let's see this.
Produced 250-year anniversary. It was my deal. I got 250 years, and the press hit me hard on that one, so I gave that up immediately. But I happened to be president during that, so think of it.
This is at a prayer breakfast.
And I got
the
these
prayer.
Things, and I said, you know what? I got the Olympics to come to the United States, and I got the World Cup to come to the United States, and I probably won't even be invited to be there. And I was...
Listen, you guys, like, the United States is the selling point. It doesn't matter who... It doesn't matter that Trump's in charge. Like, we're awesome because we're the United States. I hate this idea that it's only because Trump said that, and he'll do his little stupid voice like, oh, you have to follow the Constitution. And at a certain point, you're like, yes, you do. Stop just disregarding that. I do feel like there has to be a lot of people that are getting upset just about him, about the lack of accountability for, Bondi, for Kash Patel, for the FBI. The FBI again did a bang up job. They had an announcement. Wait, where is that? Oh yeah, the FBI concluded that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't running a sex trafficking ring for powerful men. I really wish Kash Patel was the one who delivered that remark, or Dan Bongino. Uh, but actually, well, no, he quit. So, he went to the luxurious life of being a podcaster. So, can't blame him for that. But again, when you listen to Trump talk at the 74th annual National Prayer Breakfast, I love that he really tried to tailor his speech to focus on spirituality and beliefs and the Bible and just the bigger picture in general. I do want to close on this one with of this video just because I do think that he has like a loose understanding of what church is. Like, I think he's kind of excited at like the opportunity or the potential of it, because church is a great thing. It builds communities, but the way he's talking about it, it sounds like an alien who has never actually set foot in a church, but has like heard about it secondhand from somebody else. So let's see.
I mean, I do it with behaving. I mean, I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble. No, it's such a positive thing, and people are starting to see it, and they're going to church, and they're meeting people, and families are developing. It's really, things are happening in our country right now.
It's like,
we have to get the bad ones out. We have to do
it.
We can't let that happen, and we're being very tough in law.
Not the bad ones.
Crime,
yeah.
I hate to say it because it doesn't seem to go hand in hand, but you can't have people going to churches and coming out and have criminals taking advantage and doing things that nobody wants to even describe. And that's not happening anymore. Washington,
thank
DC
goodness that
city.
vague threat is now gone.
DC was a death trap. Many people were being killed.
DC is
2-3
fine.
a week, they were being killed. Come in from Iowa to look at the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson, the George Washington, the monument, and they called the parents. I'm sorry, sir, your son has been killed. What? Your son has been killed. That doesn't happen. We took out 2,000 monsters.
That doesn't happen now, guys.
Washington, D.C. It's not just
that made-up story does not happen anymore.
And they are central casting. I think, to me, it looks much more beautiful.
Yep. Troops on the street, guys.
Guys that are 6'6" and angry-looking people, but they actually are very nice. They're angry when they see criminals. That's all. They get angry. They took Tren de Aragua, and honestly, I don't want to say this, but they beat the crap out of them. They beat the crap out of them. They found that they were doing bad things.
Okay, who is the asshole that claps for this? This is like a room full of a few thousand people, I think, but just do me a favor and listen for that.
They beat the crap out of them. They found that they were doing bad things.
Just a rousing. I mean, he knows his applause breaks.
These guys. Then we put them in the paddy wagon. We took them back to where they came from. You know that. But we took out over 2,000 hardcore criminals. 2% of the population.
I think the president was going to share a somewhat made-up statistic about crime. Let's see. Oh, whoa. Okay. I think the game is actually going to start back up. So let's wrap this up with, let's see. Okay, Lion King trivia. Okay. Okay, so the first question, when was The Lion King released? When was The Lion King released? Let's see. Give a few seconds. Okay, so let's look in the comments here. Okay, it actually says that okay, what year was the Lion King released? My answer, I actually got this kind of mixed up with some of my other papers, so I don't know. It actually says that. Oh yeah, okay. It says that Jeffrey Epstein was killed on Friday, August 9th, 2019, and not Saturday, August 10th, 2019. Um, apparently, there's a United States Attorney's Office statement that came out with a different date on it. So, you know what? I'm going to let Senator Massey kind of uh, take over on that one. So, hey, everybody. All right, the game started back up. Big week this week. Let's see what those Epstein files are all about, guys.